Just like the sun covering Antigua and Barbuda, so are we. This is English Harbour Radio, 93.5 FM.
Welcome back, and good morning once again. You're tuned in to 93.5 English Harbour Radio. Now, I told you before we went off into the news, I told you I have a very special guest in the studio with me right now, and we're going to be talking about the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, well, at least from his point of view and his perspective. All right, in the studio with me is none other than Mr. Wayne Johnson, first time here at English Harbour Radio. Let me say welcome, Wayne, and welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Thank you for having me.
All right, now, Wayne, you are going to be taking part in the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge this year. You had a friend of yours who was in it last year. He rowed by himself. He's actually a captain on this voyage. What clicked in you that said, you know what, I'm going to do this challenge? What caused that?
It was a lot of back and forward. I said no many times, and eventually when I dropped Stuart off at the airport, he said to me, just think about it. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. I see what you look like when you got off the boat. And then when he got home, he sent a long email, and my daughter and my wife turned around and said, well, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. So that's how it happened.
All right, now for those who are listening out there who may not be familiar with what the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge is, explain briefly, what exactly is the challenge?
It's the toughest ocean rowing race in the world. It rows, you leave La Gomera in the Canary Islands, and you row 5,000 kilometers, 3,000 nautical miles, all the way to English Harbour.
3,000 miles.
All unassisted.
Unassisted. So there's no one out there that's going to be able to help you in that situation. Well, at least not right away then.
Exactly.
Okay. So I know there's a lot of teams that take part in this challenge every year, and every year it seems to get bigger and bigger. Of course, last year we had for the first time, Team Wadadley last year, who represented Antigua and Barbuda. And you live here yourself. You've been living here for the past 10 years. So you know you can say you're a son of the soil as well. What has been like preparing for this challenge? Because you can't prepare for 3,000 miles on the water.
No, you're right. You can't. You don't. There's nothing you can do. You can get as physically fit as you can, but I think a lot of it is mental as well. And mentally, you can't prepare until you're out there. So it's difficult. It's a long road.
And what are some of the specific things you guys have been doing to prepare for this challenge?
Well, a lot of training on the Concept 2 rowing machine, indoor rowing machine, many hours on that, and just general fitness. I've been working with a personal trainer and just doing a lot of walking and rowing and gymming type thing.
Okay, so when did you start preparing for this? How long?
8 months ago.
8 months ago.
Most teams have 2 to 3 years to prepare for it, but Stuart did his campaign ended in Antigua in January this year. So that's when everything started between the three of us to get together and do it. So we haven't had a very long time to get sponsorships and all that type of stuff to get it together. So it's been a short road to get you.
8 months ago. Wow. And 8 months, as you said, is a short road for you, but 8 months is a long time.
It's a long time, yeah.
All right, just to get prepared for this. And you said some teams have done it in 2 and 3 years to get prepared for this. Now, one of the special things for this challenge is that all the rowers that are involved with it, they do it for charity.
That's correct.
What is the charity that you guys are doing it for?
Our charity is the Smile Foundation in South Africa. It's to help kids get corrective surgery who have cleft palate, cleft lip, burn victims, all people that can't afford to get corrective surgery like that type of stuff.
Okay. And you're originally from South Africa?
Originally from South Africa.
And this team is a South African team?
It is.
Who are some of the other members on this team with you?
Stuart Conacher is the captain. He rowed in last year in 53 days, solo. And then his best friend and his campaign manager from last year, Charles Gale, he will be the third member of the team.
So Stuart, your captain, he did it last year all by himself?
Solo, all on his own. I think that's stupid.
So, and he's doing it again this year with you guys?
That's correct.
Wow. So would you, I want to ask you this question when you get back in.
Right.
You know, it's easy to say yes or no from this point of view without doing it yet. But do you think that you would do it again?
I probably not. I don't think so. I still think it's a little crazy. There's a lot. The elements out there are massive. So, well, when I get back, I'll answer it.
Yeah. All right. Sure, man. Hey, tell you what, folks, we're gonna get a little bit of music right now. Of course, I picked this one because you're South African, and this is a South African team, and I have a nice reggae song here from a late great South African artist. You can guess who it is?
I probably could.
Let's see if we're thinking alike.
I've gone blank.
Here's Lucky Dube.
Lucky Dube, that's correct.
English Harbour Radio, 93.5 FM.
Welcome back. Once again, you're tuned in to 93.5 English Harbour Radio. And in the studio with me, of course, is somebody who I wouldn't want to switch, jobs for, at least for the next 6 months, Mr. Wayne Johnson. He's one of the members. What's the name of the team?
Team Facing It.
Team Facing It. All right, he's one of the members of Team Facing It for the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge. Now, this challenge is supposed to start off around December 15th, tentatively, once there's no, weather issues and so on. Do you guys have a time that you want to hit? Some teams say I want to do it in this time or that time. Is there a mark you want to do it by?
I'd like to do it in a couple of weeks, but that's not going to happen.
In a couple of weeks.
But
Okay.
the quicker I get back, the happier I'll be. But seriously, probably about 40 days is our goal.
40 days?
We're trying not to go over 40 days.
Okay, 40 days. All right. The first, do you remember the time that the first person that did it last year came in by?
It was 37 days and a few hours or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
So 40 days is a nice, good threshold to do it by. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the charity that you are representing, of course, is the Smile Foundation, and you said that it assists with children with cleft palates and cleft lips. Is that a really big issue? I know I've known a couple of people here who suffered from that.
Right.
And that's a great issue in South Africa.
That's a big problem out there. We've got over 50 million people in the country, it's difficult when you've got things like that and you're living where most of these kids are living with no money or anything like that. So that's what it's all about, helping the kids.
And it takes surgery to correct it.
Exactly. They need the surgery.
Okay. All right. And of course, there are costs. Anything that has to do with surgery, there's major costs attached to it. All right, now 40 days. That's the time that you want to hit.
That would be ideal, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
All right. And if there's a record time that you think about, what would that be?
Well, obviously we all want to break the record, and the record was the guys that came in last year.
So 37 days.
37 days and some hours.
All right. So even if you don't get the some hours, 37 days is your record point for you.
That would be breaking the record.
That would be most ideal. All right, so I wish you all the best with regards to breaking. I know there's so many things that you have to prepare and get ready for. How long have you been, the guys that are on the team with you, I'm not sure, how long have you guys been friends or together with all this? Or are these the guys you're just meeting for the first time?
I met them in January when Stuart rode in.
Wow.
That's when I met them.
Wow. So you guys have to, get over a lot of hurdles, getting to know the people.
Exactly. We don't really, we've been bantering back and forth, but we'll get to know each other on the boat.
I watched a documentary for Team Wadadley last year. You know what you got to look out for? The person who snores.
Well, yeah. But that's probably going to be all three of us.
Because you don't get to test that part of it. You don't get to, deal with that part of it.
Yeah.
All right, so they're here already, or are they in South Africa?
They're on their way to La Gomera in the Canary Islands as we speak.
Okay, so they're on their way there, and you're going to be leaving for...
I leave tomorrow afternoon. I'll be there on Friday afternoon.
Okay. How do you get there, though, by plane?
For me, I'm flying to New York, and then the next day I fly to Madrid, and then down to Tenerife, and then it's a ferry crossing to La Gomera.
Oh, wow. So it's even difficult to get there by plane.
It's a 42-hour journey, all in all.
Wow. So you can imagine how it is over, on a rowboat. And this is a rowboat. This is not, no mechanics.
No motors, no sails. You can't even hang
manpower.
T-shirts up because it could be wind assistance.
Wow. Okay. And in terms of your stock, in terms of food and so on, you have to bring everything you need to eat on the boat. Do you guys plan to do any fishing or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
definitely. That's the only fresh food you're going to get while you're out there. Most of the food is all the freeze-dried, not very tasty, I believe, packaged food.
Well, you should start practicing eating some of those things,
Yeah,
to acquire a taste for it.
I was supposed to get some, but I never quite got there. But,
Was that by choice or by chance?
but probably choice. Never made the effort.
Oh boy, I can understand though, because you would probably want to enjoy everything you have to enjoy before you go on this
Exactly.
journey, and this journey is going to be a momentous one. All right, so how long do you guys prepare for in terms of food on the boat? I know you said you want to hit it you get there by 40 days, but you always have to leave things up for chance.
You have to have enough food for 90 days.
90 days.
Or 60 days, depending on the amount of people in your team.
Okay.
As to how much food you need to have. But we've got, I think it's 90 days worth of food we've got on board. I think we've got 680 Snickers bars.
680.
That's our little luxury while we're out there. Everything you can to build up the calories, because you're losing a lot of calories during the day.
Yeah, 680. Wow. That's a lot of Snickers
I hope it's
bars.
enough.
I hope so too. All right, so what are some of the other things you have on board the boat to assist you with getting to Antigua, to English Harbour?
Oars.
So any navigation equipment?
Yeah,
any
we've got the
phones?
chart plotters, we've got satellite phones, we're going to have an in-reach system. It's the same as what JD had on the team with Dudley last year, sending SMSs back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Everything you need, everything you possibly
The
need.
things that you need and not.
Exactly.
Besides the Snickers, there's no more real luxuries there. But that's a lot of Snickers, 680 Snickers bars. Wow. All right, so I know it's going to be a heroic challenge, man, because to row for 3,000 miles from the Canary Islands to English Harbour, three guys on the boat, and they're different amounts of persons to each boat. People can enter as a solo.
Two-man team, trio, four-man team, and I think they've got a five-man team, but there's no one as a five-man team entered this year.
Okay. And that's even more tremendous, because I would think that you would try to get as much help as you can. You guys did it with 3 persons.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's the average. If they could have 6 persons on the boat, maybe I would do 6.
The more people, the more problems.
Well, that's the way to look at it as well. I'm just thinking the more of us, the more we can row, the quicker we can get there. But
the heavier you are, and the more food you have to carry, and
True.
Yeah.
True. Which is the reason why I won't do it. But my hat's off to all those who would do it, though. It is definitely for a good cause. You guys raise a lot of money every year taking part in this challenge, and it helps out a lot of charities all over the world. So you're representing, of course, South Africa, but you're also representing Antigua and Barbuda in a way. And I'm going to wish you all the best, all right? We're going to get a little bit of music, and when we come back from that music break, we're going to wrap up. But people, we're talking here with Mr. Wayne Johnson. He's one of the team members. And give us the name of the team again,
Team Facing It.
Team Facing It, representing South Africa in this year's Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge.
Your guide to the good life. English Harbour Radio, 93.5 FM.
Welcome back. You're tuned in to 93.5 English Harbour Radio. Right here in the studio with me is one of the members from Team Facing It in this year's Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge. Mr. Wayne Johnson is in the studios right now. Now Wayne, roughly 40 days out on the water, there's a target that you want to hit. You said you got some things on the boat. Do you guys have music out there?
Definitely. We each have to take our own iPods with as much music as possible.
Okay, so what's on your playlist?
All types of stuff. I've had my daughter and my wife loading it all for me, so I don't even know everything that's on there.
It's a good way to pass the time. I'm not sure if you guys would have, well, maybe we can get any internet connections anywhere. But if you do get into an area, you might get some. You know, tune into English Harbour Radio on the water.
Definitely.
All right. Hey, so, I mean, you know, to prepare for this sort of challenge takes a lot of money.
Yes.
To build a boat alone, especially to house 3 people, to house all your food and everything you need, takes a lot of money, because these are special boats. These aren't your typical rowboats that you guys are actually using. So how is, you know, earning some of this money been going to get prepared for this challenge?
Well, it's been difficult. Obviously, only having the 8 months to get everything ready. Luckily, we had the boat. It's the same boat that Stuart used last year. We've just had a few modifications done.
All right.
But we've done some fundraising and everything, and thank you to everyone that's helped. But we've had sponsors, and then we haven't had sponsors, and then so we've had help, and then so now we're going in bare bones, just doing it with the bare minimum.
Okay, so if a person is interested in making a donation to you guys, how can they go about doing so?
Well, all donations now would go straight to our charity, the Smile Foundation. So on our website, www.facingit.co.za, all the portals for donating to the charity. And that's pretty much where we need the money to go.
Okay, so I would like you to give that address once again, so anybody out there who's listening, they can write it down if they want to make a donation to that charity.
It's www.facingit.co.za.
Okay, so any donations now would go directly to that charity. And this is really what it's about. You're going to be encouraging folks out there to make your donations to these charities, to help out with what's going on in these areas. How did you hear about the Talisker Whiskey Challenge? Was it last year when your friend came in, or you heard about it before that?
Well, I knew that these silly people were doing it for a few years
You
now.
do know you're one of those silly people now, right?
But I was following Team Antigua. And during that, while I was following them, I realized there was there were a couple of South African soloists out there, and one of them was Stuart.
Okay.
So I connected with their Facebook page, and that's how when the family arrived here, I got in touch with them, and that's where it started.
Oh wow! So you know, I heard briefly about this challenge before, but I really got into it when Team Antigua took part in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I fell in love with it because, you know, it's all about charity, and that's the first thing about it that's really fundamental. It's about charity. It's about giving back, because you don't have to spend 40 days roughly out on the water rowing from the Canary Islands to Antigua. There's so many other things you could do with 40 days, right? Yeah. But you chose to do this to help out persons who are in need, and that's really, really, you know, awesome. So that's the first thing about it that really made it, you know, cool for me, was the fact that it was done for charity. And it opened my eyes, because I didn't know there were so many teams that took part in it. I remember teams like Row Like a Girl.
Right.
It was really, really cool. You know, they had the amputee team who had all amputee soldiers who were on a part of that team. So it was really, really awesome to see this whole spectacle take place. And now, of course, you guys are team facing it, and you're representing South Africa, kind of Antigua as well. I'm going to put that in there.
I'll be coming in with an Antiguan flag.
Wow, that's awesome, you know? And you're helping out the Smile Foundation in South Africa. So there's a lot of charity that's involved in it, and I gotta say much respect to Talisker Whiskey for sponsoring this Atlantic Challenge.
Definitely.
And for making it possible. All right, so your last couple of hours on the island, what are you doing, man?
Packing, getting the last of the stuff organized, leaving the family behind. It's a little difficult and emotional and all that type
I can
of
understand, man. You plan to have a big dinner tonight?
I'd probably at home with the family, just relax and,
you know, go out and eat something that you're probably not going to eat again for the next 40 days.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Oh boy, it's difficult to see myself in that situation, being a family man myself, and I tip my hats off to you, man.
Thank you.
I want you to go out there. I want you to break the record.
Well, so do we.
I really want you to break the record. I want you to wish you all the best. I want you to get cool and smooth waters coming all the way down to Antigua and Barbuda, coming all the way down to English Harbour, man. And thank you for coming here on English Harbour Radio.
No problem. Thank you for
letting us know
having
what's
me.
happening.
Will
All
do.
right, so you leave tomorrow.
I do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And everything that goes with it. and go and take on that challenge, man. All right.
We'll make the best of it.
All right. In the studio with me right now is Mr. Wayne Johnson. Of course, he's going to be taking part in the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, representing Team Facing It. They're representing South Africa. And of course, I'm going to put it here. He's representing Antigua and Barbuda as well. Folks, we're going to go off into a little bit of music. Then we're going to take a commercial break coming up at the bottom of the hour. Make sure you stay tuned in to English Harbour Radio 93.5 FM.
The best music, less talk. English Harbour Radio 93.5 FM.